Ashley, I'm interested to know, because your sister passed away a little while ago now, right? How
Yeah,
long?
it was in 2007.
So almost 15 years now.
Which is
Because
crazy because I feel like it was yesterday.
yeah, you've mentioned like a lot of connections, being connected to, when she passed. And at the time you even said that, listen, I wasn't grieving properly. When you
Mhm.
look back on her passing now, like how do you view that? Like how do you view that in connection to what that meant for like all this other stuff taking place in your life? You know what I'm saying? Obviously back then you weren't able to see it, but how do you view her transition now?
You know what's weird is like it is I don't even like to say it because it sounds sick, but I feel like my life got better after she passed away.
Yeah.
Um and it's like it's just a strange thing. Me and her were extremely close. Like we talked every single day. But it was something about her dying that freed me of the burden of other people's stuff. Like especially family related things. Like I think that I was way too involved in relationships within my family and other people's crap, and it was holding me down. And she was a Sagittarius. She was such a free person. She just did her own thing. Oh, sorry. She did her own thing. Sorry.
Good, you good?
She's always done her own thing. And I used to think she was selfish because I would be like, yo, you just gonna get up and leave and go to college away. And she went to HBCU and she's never let anything stop her. And she was just like, girl, this is my life. Like I'm gonna live it and I'm gonna be happy. And she would tell me every day, like, leave Ohio, go do ballet, go follow your dreams. Like, what are you doing? And I'd like have 500 excuses. Like I don't have any regrets when it comes to my sister. We told each other we loved each other every single day. We were proud of each other every single day. And that's also why I'm intentional with the way I parent my children and how I am with Chia, because the last conversation we had was so beautiful. Like literally, she was just like, you're my best friend. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Like, I just want you to be happy and live your life. She's like, please move and just do what you want to do and do what makes you happy. And because of that, like she literally died like 6 7 hours after that, and in a tragic way. But I also felt happy for her because she did all the things that she wanted to do when she was 24. Like she had a baby in college and she was like, I'm gonna keep going. Like she was living in her friends dorm rooms like the college didn't know. And she was like going to classes until she got her money together to get another place. And like she never ever let anything hold her back, and that made me have joy in knowing that. And I kind of like took that mentality and added it to my life, and my life progressively got better because I kind of lived the way she lived, in a way that's like, I'm going to do what brings me joy. I'm going to make myself happy. It doesn't matter if we're family. Like, if you're not adding value to my life, if you're not healthy, then I don't want to be around that. And that's how she was. So I think that she's just made such a mark on me because I consistently think of her when I'm making decisions, and I just hear her being like, you better do what makes you happy, like that's always in my head. But it's weird because I have daughters. I feel like she came back through them. It's so weird. But my oldest daughter's birthday is 3/12. My sister's birthday was 12/3. So like I see all these signs and these connections. I feel her energy. And it's weird because I don't miss her because I feel her every day. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like she died and she really came back really quickly. So I was telling I went to get a reading and I was like, I don't dream about my sister. Like it's so weird. I don't ever I've had 4 dreams about her in 15 years. 4. Like the fact that I can count them. Never dream about her. And she was like, you don't need to call on her because she's already here. Like she's already there. And I just started bawling. But that's so true. Like I feel her. And you know what I mean? With me every day. I feel like she watches over me and my children like really deeply.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason I asked that is because it does not sound sick at all. I know what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? Although I would still consider myself to be kind of like in the early stages of grief. It
Yeah.
hasn't been a full year yet, since my mother passed. But when my mother passed, I immediately felt a level of like liberation connected to her transitioning. And my mother was terrific for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, she had her own shit. We would bump our
Right.
heads a lot. But I learned so much from my mother. I learned so much from her, good and bad. And one thing that I could always count on my mother to do was like, she would affirm me in a way that I needed in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And since her transition, I'm always able to kind of like look back on those moments. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's no way I would be able to have like a consciousness of like being intentional about like literally living. Like I would not be able to think that way without my mother's transition. So I know exactly what you mean when you say like, listen, I feel like my life got better. I feel like there was a level of like freedom that was connected to that. Because I'm living proof of that. I'm currently in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying? Like even with our son being born 3 months before her passing, my mother was the first person down at the hospital. She was the first person to hold him. Like there's small things that happen that was just kind of like affirming to me that let me know like, okay. And it sounds crazy, and it's something that, I'm not even always comfortable saying, definitely not publicly.
Right.
Like it's one of those things where like I'm able to look at her passing that it was supposed to be the way it was supposed to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I also understand on the other side is that that's my experience and that's not everybody else's experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say that to everybody else in my family. You know what I'm saying? But that's for me. You know what I'm saying? And what is for me will be for me. So I definitely understand that. And that's why I asked that, is because I can hear that, from when you speak about her.
But even you saying that, I feel like just says a lot about you as a person and how you choose to live life, right? And I think that we don't realize how much of our emotions are often a choice. Do you know what I mean? Like how we choose to deal with things. That is religion, whatever it is that you want to believe and you choose to believe to make you feel better. There is no factual evidence of much of anything that people choose to believe. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's literally just a choice.
Right.
For me, it's like I'm going to choose the thing that makes sense to me, that brings me joy. Because there was a moment where I was very mad at God and I was just like, this is some bullshit and you're whack. I don't understand you because I see people out here not living their life. They don't appreciate their life. Like, why'd you take my sister? Like I was really angry. But also just having the understanding that like shit happens, right? We all affect one another. Her death was the cause of someone else's irresponsibility. And so even that, understanding the power in my behavior, how I affect other people, how I could potentially cause a domino effect in someone else's life and not even understand that. And so the person deciding to be lazy that day and not strap their equipment on properly and that falling off and causing her to get in a car accident, it's like having that understanding that maybe it wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe if this person was being aligned and being responsible, it wouldn't have happened, right? Like, I don't know. I don't really always like to say that, oh, they were going to die, or that I wouldn't be where I am without her dying. And I wouldn't have had this revelation and understanding of how to live life without that happening. It's just, that's what I choose to take from it.
Choosing, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a choice. And same thing with my mom. She was really depressed. And I had a conversation with her, like, she's not coming back. So you either are going to be sad for the rest of your life until the day you die in this bed every day, or you're going to choose to try to get up, like smoke this blunt and relax a little bit and try to find some joy in me and your grandchildren and your other 2 children. Like, these are just your choices because your daughter's never coming back. So it's just, it comes down to a choice on how you're going to deal with that. Like, she's never going to not miss my sister. That's her baby, and that's your mom. Like, how do you even, that gives me anxiety even thinking about my mom passing away. So for that to be a reality, like, I understand the depths of that, but it's also your choice to find some joy in that and be like, I have a wife, I have a baby, I'm going to miss my mom no matter what. So I'm going to try to find joy every day. But 10 years from now, you got a breakdown, child. That's what happened to me. Like, I was just like, oh, where did this come from?